Hello everyone, welcome to Python Challenge for All. Okay, so today I'm going to present you a special topic video series entitled Invitation to Fractal Geometry. I hope you'll enjoy it.
This is a more famous Mandelbrot set. I think you already know this. There is a very simple recursion like this. So in the complex space, we calculate d squared as z squared plus starting complex number c, then do the calculation. And then if the number, the distance of the point from the origin is over 2, then we call it divergent point. So these are non-divergent black ones. And divergent points are here, a little farther from the origin, are painted according to the number of iterations before divergence. Okay. Interestingly, this is a very interesting shape which has fractal figure. And I actually drew it in a very simple way. Let's take a look at the implementation. 400 L 402. Yeah, very simple. Okay, so I divide the area of 0.2, minus 7. So C bundle is just like this. This calculates the definition, this decision of divergence. We start any complex number from any complex number C. We repeat until the point, the distance from the origin is over 2 or not. If it goes over 2, you return the iteration time. Otherwise, calculate nu z is equal to z squared plus c. And if it doesn't diverge after, say, 50 times, the 50 is returned. And then just plotting the points according to the number of divergent iterations. So it's like this. Okay, it's doing. My computer is slow, maybe. Okay, so this is Mandelbrot. And my trick is, if you click here, you can zoom in to its neighborhood. Of course, we have large collection of animations out in the internet. But anyway, you can, if you want, you can implement it like this. So here, you do, if you click on the stage, you have this kind of event-driven magnification, or zoom in or zoom out. So if you have zoom in, you can see the details. If you zoom out, of course, you can have to move to other parts. So I hope you will enjoy seeing the here, the famous dragons are lined up here. Tatsuno Otoshigo shape are lined up here. So which is an interesting thing to observe all the time. Okay. Okay, if I have time, I will let you enjoy yourself. The variation is what we call Julia set, which is variation of Mandelbrot set, which starts from any C which have variation of different shapes. Let me take a look at the example of Mandelbrot set. So here is Mandelbrot set. This is zooming of the Mandelbrot set. Sierpinski carpet, fractal tree, and all these variations. Julia set, Sierpinski gasket. So I can show many variations if you want, but let me go on. So here, interesting point, mathematical point is the analysis of dimension here. What is dimension? So usually, dimension is the way an object measure changes as we scale its linear size. Okay, think of a scaling a line. So if we have line, if you reduce it to half of it, then we have exactly two such smaller, shorter segments, right? N equals 2. And this happens all the time. If we reduce by 2, we have two sets. Here, the equation is like N is R times 1. Okay? Likewise, if you think of two-dimensional space, okay? If you have half size square, we have 4 such smaller squares. Okay. If you reduce the scale by half, we have exactly 4 identical squares. So here, n equals to r, 1 over r times, to the raised to the power of 2. How about in the three-dimensional space? If you reduce the scale by half, we have exactly 8 identical cubes. That means n equals to r to the power of 3. So here, the number here is meant to mean the dimension of the geometry. Let's think of say, likewise, if there's a relation like this, the d should be what we call Hausdorff dimension. So d can be calculated like this, right? Log n over log 1 over r. Well, the base can be anything. Typically, it should be e, Napier number. Okay, so dimension is the exponent that relates the reduction factor to the number of pieces we have. So let's think of Koch curve. Here, if we go one level up, we have the size is 1/3, but we have 4 segments. And do the same thing for next level. So here, the dimension can be calculated as log 4 of log 3, which is something like 1.26, which is a little complex than a single line, but doesn't feel a plane 2.0. Let's take another example of Sierpinski gasket, Sierpinski triangle. When we scale the triangle to half, we have 3 copies, okay? Only 3 copies here. Likewise, we have, in this case, we have 3 times 3, so 9 triangles if you reduce it to 1/4. So the dimension can be calculated as log 3 over log 2. So it's like 1.58. This is what I mean by dimension of fractal figures. Shall we try another example? Yeah, you can do it yourself, but in Sierpinski carpet, as I showed you, yeah, the ratio is like 1 to 3, okay, 1/3. The smaller square is 1/3 of the original. And the painted area is only 8 of the original. So the dimension is log 8 of log 3, which is like 1.89. And you can actually check that by running the drawing program for Sierpinski carpet here. So if you see Sierpinski carpet, like 180 Sierpinski carpet, yeah, you can actually, let's see. Okay, I will, Sierpinski gasket, Sierpinski 88 chaos game, which is 90 something. Cesaro, 90 natural symmetry. Okay, yeah, you can anyway try yourself if you are interested. Let me go on. So here, another interesting aspect of fractal is that you can draw it in many different ways. So the basic algorithm is use of recursion, okay? That such as we saw in the chaos game, no, I mean the cock curve case, we can use it as a, yeah, this one too, as a recursive call of cock curves. Okay, this is typical recursive calls. So the base case is just a single line. Otherwise, it will be done by using 4 calls of cock of level n-1. So this is very simple recursive implementation of cock curve. Okay, likewise, if you were interested in, say, Sierpinski gasket, yeah, okay. Because, yeah, another example is recursive Hilbert. Okay, Hilbert curve can be drawn as, yeah, like going left, heel -1, forward, right, heel -1, something like that, recursively calling it. When n is equals 0, it does nothing, like this. Okay, so the recursive call is the basic way of implementing it. So by using turtle, you can draw it. A simple tree, as you saw, can be drawn using turtle graphic too. But another interesting mechanism is called Lindenmayer system, L system. Okay, so let's take a look at Lindenmayer system. Do we have a Lindenmayer system here? Oh yeah, good. So let's see it either in Japanese or English. So Lindenmayer system or L system is a formal grammar, a sort of formal grammar where we use the kind of set of grammatical rules and starting point. So it's like this. Let's take a look at, say, likewise, the natural tree. Okay. The simple tree. Okay. Let's take a look at the Cook L system or Hilbert curve L system. So in here, this is the starting symbol, X, and this is there are two grammatical rules. X goes to this, X will be extended as this, and Y will be extended as this. So there are only two grammatical extension rules, translation rules. And this will be done D times using this kind of very simple translation rules. Okay, and after the symbol sequence is made, very simple drawing process will take place, where F, when we have F, just go forward by S. When we have plus, we turn left by angle. If we have minus, we turn right by angle. And that's all. Very simple. Very simply written rule. Okay, let's take a look at, say, okay, this is a very complex case, but anyway, okay, this is a way to draw fractals. Okay, let's define D equals, say, 4. So we have very simple fractals based on these symbol series. Okay, so in this case, we have 851 symbols of plus, minus, x, y, and f. Only f will be used to draw lines. And then we have that kind of very complicated shapes. And this goes to draw these plant figures of cedars or other parts. So please take a look if you're interested.